Hey guys, so it's been about a day since Jurassic World Dominion hit the theaters. I watched it last night. Darius did too. This is my good friend Darius. This is our first collaboration. We've been wanting to collab for a while, but we just couldn't get our timings right. But unfortunately, we're talking about we just had to collab about a film that isn't all that great, but I personally did not, you know, like dislike it as much as you did. But before we get into Dominion, I think we should just like quickly recap our thoughts on the franchise as a whole. Why don't you go first, Darius? What do you think from Jurassic Park to Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom? What are your thoughts as a franchise?
If I'm gonna be 100% honest, I didn't really care much about the Jurassic Park series after the first movie. I mean, the first film was. I mean, I mean, the first film is pretty much viewed in the same way as you would view E.T. or The Matrix or something like that. When it's part of a franchise that big and leaves such an impact, I mean, it's such a spectacle to behold, honestly. And honestly, there's so many things that they're right that even now, and as you're looking back, it is like why is it so hard to imitate again? It's one of those. I wouldn't say Jurassic Park was like lightning in a bottle, like Men in Black or something like that. But the fact that it's managed to stay relevant for that long and hold up for so well, it really is a miracle. The Lost World Jurassic Park, not terrible, not terrible. I would classify it as at least good or okay at the very least. Jurassic Park 3 was. I wouldn't call it so bad as a good movie. It had some fun moments, but it was definitely a step back in quality.
Right.
Jurassic World, I actually kind of liked. It's been a while since I've actually seen it, but the first time I saw it in the theaters with my dad, it was actually pretty suspenseful in a lot of ways. There was literally this one moment where I'm not gonna spoil anything. Well, it's a 6, 7, 8-year-old movie. Why would it need to be spoiled? But basically, the characters like hiding underneath the vehicle, and dinosaur just sort of bulges in out of nowhere. And I literally got so shaken. I actually got a Charlie horse like right in the middle of it.
That's crazy.
Oh man. Oh man. I was taking track at the time, so that's one thing I really gotta I really gotta work on that. But yeah, 3 years later, it was Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and
Yeah.
okay. There are some separate fun moments. There are some separate moments, but for the most part, Jurassic Fallen Kingdom was just a giant mess, honestly.
It is. Yeah, I agree. For me, I loved first Jurassic Park. I recently rewatched it. I was gonna rewatch the whole franchise, but I just couldn't get the time before watching Dominion. But I remember most of them pretty well. I love the first Jurassic Park. It's one of my favorites. Um, there are some issues with it I noticed on a second time around, but I mean, it's not worth delving into because that's like nothing compared to this film. Jurassic Park 2, Lost World, I think is actually quite underrated. People like to say the T-Rex feels out of place when it shows up in the city. I actually kind of enjoy it. Jurassic Park 3, I don't hate as much either. There are some really dumb moments, but it's overall a fine movie. Jurassic World, I actually like. I think it's decent because it was really nice to see a functioning park. That was possibly the only interesting part of that film. And then Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is just a terrible film. It's truly an awful movie. It's the worst in the franchise. And, you know, I mean, it's sad that we don't have that many great legacy sequels to movies. I mean, I feel like the only two legacy sequels I can think of that ended up being great are Blade Runner 2049 and Top Gun Maverick. And
Both of those are admittedly very great. Maybe I
yeah,
just have a soft spot for Matrix Resurrections, but again, it's probably bias coming from my behalf.
right.
On the plus side, I will say Jurassic World Dominion is nowhere near as messy as Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, thankfully.
That's
And and on the off chance if you really hated Fallen Kingdom like we did, this is actually the perfect movie to soothe you. Soothe you to
yeah,
how like to sleep.
yeah, exactly. I I didn't. Okay, the thing is, I also rate experience of the film quite a lot too. And for me, when I was watching this film, I didn't hate it like I was watching Fallen King when I was watching Fallen Kingdom. I just it's even though it's like a below average movie, if you were to really look at objectively, I enjoyed it enough for me to give it like an average rating when I first saw it. But I don't know, it might change after this conversation. But I really did not understand why this movie, spoilers by the way, this movie decided to focus on things nobody cares about. And also what Fallen Kingdom set up. Colin Trevorrow has also said this. He said what he really wanted to do with the franchise is have a bunch of dinosaurs just go free in the world. And you did that at the end of Fallen Kingdom, only to trap us back into another park-like setting again. Except
They
it's
did the exact same thing with Fallen Kingdom. It's pretty much false advertising on top of false advertising. And it's like, what the hell is the matter with you guys? You have something concrete right there.
It's nonsense. It's absolutely ridiculous. They lied to us. They straight up lied to us. There was even a prologue sequence that they showed exclusively if you went to go see F9 in IMAX. That is just straight up missing in the movie.
T-Rex just interrupting a movie theater outside.
Yeah, right, that one. It's just not in the movie. I don't know what was that about. That was actually like a really cool sequence. I don't know why it's not in the movie. That's probably might be the most expensive promotional material you'd ever come across ever, I think.
Part of me actually feels sorry for Steven Spielberg because never mind, if he's actually the executive producer behind all three of these films, and it's like the Steven.
I don't know if you know, Darius, but Steven Spielberg was executive producer on the Transformers movies too.
Yeah.
So clearly,
I recognize that too.
Yeah. So clearly, it really doesn't. I mean, it's money. It's good money, I guess. I mean, his company, Amblin.
Ambulance or ambulance. I mean,
yeah.
I swear. I swear. Ever since Van Forster came out, I've just been saying what they were showing in the posters.
Yeah, exactly.
Ever since Van Forster.
It's stupid, and like even Scream 4 had that thing. It was like Screform. Yeah, it was so dumb. Yeah.
It's also kind of funny how you mentioned greed, because may I remind you, the first Jurassic Park movie taught us in a dearly lesson that greed is bad and all things should be left alone. This entire sequel trilogy proves we have not learned a single damn thing.
Exactly. Here's the thing. The first trilogy, why I like it is because everyone, most of the time, were like, yeah, making dinosaurs is not a great idea. In this like at least the main characters, like the good guys. In this trilogy, we follow characters that are willing to free dinosaurs into the wild, even though they clearly cannot coexist with human beings. And the movie, I thought, I was like, all right, Fallen Kingdom, it was a whatever film that just was leading to this. And I was thinking, maybe look at how interesting of an idea it is if like humans and dinosaurs have to like coexist, and it's gonna be like this post-apocalyptic thing. But no, they just gloss over it in a stupid newsreel in the beginning of the movie.
And I will admit, the newsreel, not the newsreel in general, but for like the first third of the movie, it actually did a decent job of trying to hold my attention. There's a heavy-handed climate change angle that, in the benefit of hindsight, it actually felt like a natural enough progression for what I felt like the story was trying to give us at least before. The metaphor was appropriately urgent, and the setup, along with the release of the dinosaurs from the previous movie, it actually was kind of rich. I felt like they were at least attempting to go somewhere along that with the locusts and the rest of the dinosaurs and all that other stuff. I mean, that's what I mean. Again, moments like that make me believe that there was at least something there, but it's all just drowned out by mediocrity.
Yeah, I agree. It's at least, you know, what I was thinking they're gonna do, but they didn't, was that I thought they were gonna like really disrespect the original characters, but they didn't. But then again, did they really even give them all that much to do? I don't really think so.
I really don't think that. I really don't think they did the legacy characters any justice. I mean, I mean, they're there. They get to do interesting stuff and all that, and it's clear that they're more or less the same characters. But as far as adding anything to the plot or why they got interact with like the new characters, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. When Spider-Man No Way Home does a better job at doing that than. When Spider-Man No Way Home does a better job of doing that than this, which, by the way, Spider-Man No Way Home is also an uneven franchise. Just okay, hold on.
Yeah.
I mean, in my personal opinion, No Way Home is the best of the MCU Spider-Man trilogy. But again, that's not really saying much. I still have to get through 2 hours worth of the usual MCU shtick just to get to the final act, and even then, it was sort of like. To be fair, looking back at it now, I'm still debating on whether or not to give No Way Home like a 5.5 or 5 or 6 on my like that final third act alone. But basically, you get the point of what I'm trying to say.
Right. I understand. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't really understand what their issue is with making like. I mean. You could have hired the same writers. I mean, David Koepp wrote the first Jurassic Park. He could have come back. I mean, he wrote some good films. Like, I like War of the Worlds. I like Jurassic Park. I don't like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, but he's still a good writer. But then they get Colin Trevorrow, who has written like just mediocrity or just bad scripts in his entire career. Really. I mean, his notable films are the Jurassic World movies, and I don't understand why. He's a good director. I mean, all the action scenes in this film are really well done. I mean, if I'm going to be honest, I think I beg to differ. To me personally, most of the action sequences, minus the bike chase scene, maybe, for some reason, all the action sequences come off as incredibly tame to me. It's almost like they burrow out most of the tension for these flicks. They're either overhatched by the poor editing, or someone just handicapped by the lighting, or maybe that's just me looking in too deep to it. But seriously, it's just a part of that too. Also comes down to, I wouldn't say the look of the dinosaurs is bad, but it's clear that the lightning in a bottle effects from the first movie or even the first Jurassic World onwards is just sort of gone. Like I agree.
Like the mix of CG, animatronics. I mean, like it's cool to look at, but it's not all that impressive anymore. Considering CG nowadays is the less expensive option. It's just
right.
I don't know. It's just there.
I don't even think it's because of the effects or anything. I just feel like these directors are not talented enough to at least even live up to make a film that still feels grand and spectacle when you see dinosaurs. They think, oh, if we have 3 giant dinosaurs fight at the end, that's cool, even though we've done that like 10 times already. And how many times are we gonna have the T-Rex fight somebody at the very end? And they didn't even do it well near the end either. I mean, yeah. It's a joke. It's really a joke. I mean,
speaking of jokes, none of them work.
Yeah, I agree.
The film can't keep a consistent tone to save his life.
Yeah, it felt like MCU humor, where like something crazy would happen, and then you're so used to that timing where they're like, okay, insert joke in. Like, for example, when Chris Pratt and that pilot lady almost die from that bird creature thing.
By the way, how did they crash into that thing and not come out with a single scratch?
Exactly. And then here's another thing. I was telling my friend this. It's like there's this whole emotional scene where they make Claire eject out of the plane. She could have just stayed in the plane.
If that was gonna happen, why did you just stay in the plane?
Exactly, just stay in the plane. No, like they just hatched out of the back. It's stupid. I mean, you could say she could have gotten eaten by a dinosaur, but
I mean, I feel sorry for Bryce Dallas Howard. I mean, bless her heart, she tried like this entire movie.
Yeah, she did, and I don't know how she was able to outrun a raptor, but that happened too.
Technically, she did lead a T-Rex to the battlefield in high heels. So.
Oh God, that is true. Yeah. Yeah. Oh Jesus.
To be fair, that wasn't slow motion though. So.
Yeah. it's like all you had to do is just like it would have taken less effort, like just not wear heels when you run, just throw them away. But no, we gotta have heels for some reason. They even had a zoom in shot of her heels, and I'm like, oh my god. And speaking of things that I like that they put in this movie that for some reason they still haven't learned their lesson from the first Jurassic World.
Let's talk about the villains.
The villains, but before that, my issue with the first Jurassic World is militarized raptors. That's again a thing in this movie too. Why is that still a thing? It's so stupid.
What was even the point of those? They didn't really matter much.
Exactly. If you're gonna militarize dinosaurs, then why did you never think about militarizing like lions or wolves in the Jurassic World world? Why did you go straight to dinosaurs? The most wildest species of animals that have ever existed on the history.
That is a death warrant waiting for you, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, like the whole laser pointer thing is so dumb. It's so dumb.
Can you imagine how much physical engineering you would have had to do to primarily re-engineer a dinosaur's brain to just attack anybody when you point a laser at it? I mean, they're not cats. They're not cats. They pick on anybody who feel like it.
Exactly, and they enjoy the hunt too. They don't just. And the thing is, if those laser pointers do work, why don't you just engineer that into every dinosaur? So when it tries to kill somebody, you can just point it at a goat or something, and it'll go after that instead. Right? It's ridiculous. Like I don't understand. Like it just this plot just keeps getting regurgitated over and over again. And
speaking of regurgitated, Lewis Dodson.
Oh, who is that again? Oh, the bad guy. Oh, right. The main bad guy.
For some, I actually had to look him up because I didn't know what he was. Turns out he actually was in like the first Jurassic Park movie. He was talking to I don't know who Fatso was, but basically it was.
Oh, I didn't know he was in the first Jurassic Park. That's cool. I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. I don't even know anything about him. Do you have any idea how low you have to stoop to the bottom of the barrel to pick out someone like that who we know nothing about?
Exactly. And then
I didn't even know bison was even a thing in the first movie, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. But seriously,
it's stupid. I don't understand. And then
and Malcolm's working with them.
Yeah, exactly. What's the whole big deal about that? What about the whole thing that you were like, as if him being at Jurassic Park wasn't traumatizing enough, or going back on the island to save his wife in the second one wasn't traumatizing enough? He's gonna go in and hear me out. Like when he worked at there, when he was first hired, he had no idea that biosin was behind the whole locust thing until that other guy who worked there told him about it.
So we have climate change, locust, blue getting her baby back. Lockwood's DNA.
Oh god!
I honestly completely forgot about the little girl from Fallen Kingdom. Seriously, any one of these could have made at least something of an entertaining movie, but you crammed them all in and you butchered the game another 3 hours.
Exactly, and that girl's acting too wasn't very good. All that it was that like my friend was like visibly cringing when she like towards the end of the film she tries to get Blue's kid attention, and he's like, hey, eyes on me, and I was just like, oh my god, are you serious?
I mean I get it. I suppose that was the direction taken. I mean she's not really human after all, but she's not completely robotic either, so it's sort of like
And then you got that stupid forced teenage angst thing. It's like, oh, you're not my mother. Oh, you don't tell me what to do. It's so dumb. It's just like, come on. How many times have you
how many times are we gonna do this type of thing? If you are gonna do it, at least put an interesting spin on it, or at least have it make sense.
Exactly. It doesn't. It's like the entire world is after you because you're the most. Apparently dinosaurs don't matter anymore, but you're the most scientifically important discovery on the face of the planet, and people would freaking kidnap you, sell you. So like, and for some reason, Owen and Claire living in the middle of the woods where there's tons of creatures that can come and just kill everybody is so smart. It's just like, you need to understand, like, she's 15 and I'm sure she could have understood, but they just wanted to have that forced drama. They just wanted to have it in a way where she gets caught. How about have like an entire army of guys like go in and raid the house and then kidnap her? Right? That would have worked. That would have saved me some time.
I was honestly waiting for that scene. Honestly, I mean, I was honestly waiting for a scene where Owen and Blue sort of get to a misunderstanding, and then the blue guys sort of like tranquilize them or something like that, and then they just take her and just raid the house, something like that. I mean, it's also sort of generic, but it would have been more entertaining than what we got. Or I'm just spitting out my head. You know, I mean, like, seriously, this entire film felt like it was on autopilot the entire time. You know, you know one of those marble desk toys where you just look at the marbles clanging back and forth into one another, and you watch it for an indisclosed period of time. This is the less fun version of that.
Exactly. That's the perfect way of putting it. Right. I gotta ask, what did you think of the fact that the humans decided it would be a great idea to engineer another violent, top of the food chain dinosaur and put it in the same area where the T-Rex is, and then for some reason they choose to fight at the end of the movie when they could have fought the whole time they were there?
I had no reaction.
And then there was that
I was physically at the point where I was like, okay, no more Jurassic World. These guys are clearly giving up.
I'm done. I don't want to see another one. I don't want to see another Jurassic World. I am done. No, I'm done. I don't want to see another one. I'm serious. Okay, you know what? I'm going to lower my score at the end. I can't handle this. The thing is, I didn't want to lower my score because if I lowered my score, then this would be on the same level as Fallen Kingdom. But then again, are they really all that far off?
I mean,
I don't really think so.
I mean, to be fair, there were a few emotional moments, at least to me, that I found somewhat sweet. It was one of those scenes in the beginning where Lockwood is sort of like in the middle of the construction field, and this Brontosaurus is like in the middle of nowhere, so they have to use a flare to sort of get out of the area or to somewhat leave.
I like that scene.
That scene was nice, and I also thought that Beta reuniting with Blue was also sort of sweet, and then Blue looks back at Grady almost like in a way of saying thank you. It's sort of it's just there's small scenes like that where the emotion is there and the beats hit just right. It's just all drowned out. Exactly.
It's just like you got these little moments that glimmer for a little bit, but then they kind of just get put out really fast because of all the shit before that you had to get past to get there. I'm sick and tired of having an asshole corporate villain guy in every Jurassic World movie. In this one, it was Peter Parker's dad. That's the actor who played Richard Parker in the Amazing Spider-Man films. And then in Jurassic World, it was that other guy who killed Lockwood and was gonna sell all the dinosaurs in a black market. And then in the first one, it was
may I remind you, Dominion actually did a better black market portrayal of dinosaurs better than that movie did, and that was only like for like 4 minutes.
I agree. Yeah, I do like I did like some of the black market crime aspects of how the criminal underworld would, take advantage of this dinosaur as a market. I thought that was really interesting. I just wish the whole movie focused on that instead of being trapped in a facility / park again. It's the same thing. You lied to us. You lied to me.
You keep lying to us, Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly. And also, how many years is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom and Jurassic World Dominion apart in canon years? Is it a year or a couple years?
It's 2018 to 2022. They literally said 4 years.
Okay, got it. Okay, then that makes sense. But I mean, then again, it feels like there's so many dinosaurs, like way too much. But it's 4 years. I guess it makes sense. But yeah.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry, but 2.5 hours, you really could have sliced up a few minutes off of that.
This movie was way too long. It was way too long.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I honestly felt the strain of the timeline, like way towards the end. But around the time the legacy characters and the original characters actually did come into contact with one another, I was like, okay, we're probably at the two hour mark by now, but it just kept going and going and going, and it's sort of like it's not only that, but also the stakes have never really felt even lower for a Jurassic World movie. So you literally feel every straining minute of that runtime. I mean, it always comes off like it's on something, but it doesn't even bother to wrap it up. Like
it's really frustrating. I honestly don't understand.
And not only that, but I wouldn't have minded the interactions between both cast members if there was at least some good chemistry between them. It was so destroying.
Yeah, exactly. At least I am glad they didn't continue with Owen and Claire's off and on relationship thing, and they just were in a relationship. Like, that was so dumb in the first.
Thank God,
bro. Oh my God, it's just ridiculous. And then the whole melodrama with them being her parents too. Like, they're my parents, and then her accepting that is just. Oh, I've seen this so many times, done better too.
Doesn't really help that most of the personalities of these characters, even from previous films, were just sort of like bogged down to sort of just like what they do. Like, they're all like complete ciphers of this. You could literally just sort of pick them out and randomize it, and I'm not sure much would have changed.
Exactly. Yeah. I think we should just first.
The only new character of the bunch that they actually liked was the Wanda Wise as the pilot. Like, she was the only one who actually had something regarding her personality, and she actually had somewhat of I wouldn't say a valid reason for being there, but she at least had enough cause to the dedication to where I was like hoping, praying that she wasn't gonna die, because it's like, you know how these movies are like.
Yeah, well, they can't kill her because she's their only ticket out of there, because she can only fly. So yeah, obviously they kept her alive. But yeah, I did like her personality, but the whole time I was just wondering, why is she helping them? Like,
I was wondering that too, but then I realized the less I ask questions, the sooner the movie's over.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we do see like a shot of her family in the cockpit,
but that's for a fraction of a second. You hardly had any time to like look at that thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know what the deal is. I just think they just forgot. Oh, also, before we start talking about the villain and how his evil plan is extremely stupid, there's a moment in the film where the Biosyn place just goes to crap because all these locusts get burned, and then they just shut the power off. And all these characters are in this like treehouse type place, and suddenly all these other characters that were all the way across in the other side of the facility just teleport in there. Did you notice that? Like that Ramsey character, he just showed up. Like, where did he come from? The scene before, he was in that character's office, the bad guy's office.
How did BD Wong get there?
Exactly. How did BD Wong get there? Yeah, exactly. Claire almost died walking 2 inches toward the facility, so she had to go and hide. Ugh, just bad writing. Okay.
To be fair, dinosaurs all around you. You'll probably go about run and hide too.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I gotta say this: the bad guy's plan makes 0 sense.
I'm not even sure if it was a plan to begin with.
So he hires really violent hitmen that get a lot of people killed in the process of getting a raptor and Maisie. And he got these two people for BD Wong, who's trying to do a good thing. But then he doesn't want him to do it, even though he went through all the trouble of bringing those two assets to him, because he doesn't want him to create a cure or an antitoxin to get rid of the locusts. So what the hell was this guy trying to do the whole time? It makes no sense. I don't understand. I feel like I missed something. Am I missing something?
How much you want about this movie was meant to be longer?
I agree. I think the moments where those characters just teleported in, I think there was something in between that they cut out. Or they just forgot about it. They're like, let's just have them teleport there. I think that's probably it.
It honestly feels like ever since Jurassic World, the franchise has been trying to lean itself further and further away from trying to be Jurassic Park. It honestly feels like there's literally a moment where Sam Neill's Alan Grant, he keeps this cowboy hat on for like the entire time. I'm like, it wasn't until like the guy with the camera was like, okay, you're trying to be Indiana Jones.
yeah. My friend said that, like, why is he Indiana Jones? Like, that's an easy thing. Like, what?
Where's the whip?
Where's the whip? Exactly. Where's the whip? Yeah.
You have to find it. Where's the gun? Where's the whip? Where's the...
Yeah, exactly. What are you gonna do? Find a dinosaur and be like, this belongs in a museum?
I just wanted to see if you could ride a velociraptor.
Oh yeah, exactly. I thought my favorite. Also, there's another moment that I really liked was when Alan Grant looks at and like all the legacy characters finally have time to interact with each other. And if you remember, Alan Grant was a big raptor guy, and him have like one scene where he bonds with Owen Grady about it was kind of cool. I thought it was fine. And Laura Dern was good. Ian Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum stole the show again. I think his humor was the ones that landed the most. Everyone else, not really.
You made a promise to a raptor.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. I think he was pointing out how much you want to bet that was an improvised scene where he was pointing out how stupid the writing is.
I wouldn't put it past Goldblum. I wouldn't put it past the script. I wouldn't put it past the writers. I wouldn't put it past Colin. I wouldn't put it past Universal.
Yeah. At this point, like, this series has.
Just say it's extinct. It's extinct, all of it.
I think the level of thought that is put into this movie is almost reaching to the level of stupidity the Fast and Furious franchise has gone to.
But at least the Fast and Furious films own up to it, and they're still fun to watch.
Exactly. These things are trying to become something that they're not, that they never were supposed to be. The Jurassic Park World Park franchise was half intrigue, spectacle, drama, half running away from dinosaurs and action. This is just a dumb action movie with stupid science mumbo jumbo exposition that really is just throwaway.
And I don't know if it's just me, but the fact that they had to show three separate Minion clips before the movie just pissed me off even more. Now that I'm thinking back to it.
Yeah, it was like okay, so you got the thing where like the Minion is like screaming at the T-Rex, right?
Yeah.
That little promo. Yeah, I got that too.
I was wondering what was the point of that, and I'm like, okay, you're tying into the movie, but still, it's like it's after the freaking Nicole Kidman ad. Like, can we get on with it, please?
Oh God, yeah, that too. Like,
can we get the Nicole ad?
The funny thing is, in the Nicole Kidman ad, when she's watching movies in the theater, Jurassic World plays. So I think that's why it was there. It was there.
It's always there.
Yeah, it's always been there. Yeah, it was just that connection. Oh God, that don't even get me started with that Nicole Kidman ad. Jesus Christ. Yeah. What other stupid things happen in this movie? Besides, I don't know, everything.
The best I can give Dominion is like a 3.5. Again, some emotional moments, some acting is fine, some ideas getting through, but for the most part, it's just I mean I can't even say white noise because that's Michael Bay's thing. It's more like
I cannot believe
I got nothing.
a Michael Bay movie has been better than a lot of the movies I've seen this year in new releases.
I was not expecting Ambulance to be as fun as it was. Okay, I'll just say that.
Yeah, I'll just say that too. Yeah, but good God, I can't. Just talking about it has made me realize that this movie, the level of stupidity that is in the page, has given me a headache. Really, it's a joke. It's really a joke.
Why did he think it was a good idea to have Biosyn like in the middle of yet another secluded area in the middle of nowhere?
I don't know either. And apparently, there's this thing called ADS or something, where like any plane can fly in, and if they think it's restricted, they'll just turn the ADS thing off, and then a pterodactyl can come in and just kill everybody in the plane.
Stop trying to be so needlessly long and complicated. You're a dinosaur movie, not Lords of Arabia.
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. I don't understand why this is such a. This movie is just so convoluted it's just packed to the brim with nothing to offer. There's so much, but you feel so little.
It's sort of the same like Amazing Spider-Man 2 or even Batman vs Superman. Some acting is good, some action sequences are good, and there's a lot of things to take away from it and enjoy. But at the end of the day, you always know where its loyalty lies. It wants the franchise. I mean, don't get me wrong. You can franchise something good, but you have to be dedicated to ideals and passion first. And it's clear that as far as Jurassic World is concerned, it's kind of run its course.
Exactly. This movie is. God, it's Jurassic World Dominion, more like Jurassic World, ha ha ha, we lied to you. That's what it is. That's literally what it is. They lied to us. The director straight up said, I've always wanted the idea of all the dinosaurs free in the world, just so you can have us trapped in a goddamn freaking facility / park. I'm just going to call it Jurassic World. I'll just call it that. Or Biosyn, or whatever.
It's universal pulling strings.
Oh, Darius, what did you think of the scene where the T-Rex walked behind the giant circle thing, recreating the logo of the film? Wasn't that so amazing?
It was an interesting shot for a couple of seconds. I mean, the cinematography is decent. It does have some interesting shots like every once in a while. It's just, again, drowned out by everything else.
Yeah, it's a decent, pretty well shot film. I mean, there's a lot of shots in the film that I did really like. But yeah, I thought the dinosaur walking or behind the circle thing was a little corny. And then also, I don't know if you noticed, but when the bad guy was like, all right, just kill all these bugs, and he burns them, and then they fly out of the facility, and then they all start falling down, and it's recreating like the dinosaur extinction when a bunch of meteors hit and killed dinosaurs.
I honestly thought for a second that the locusts somehow absorbed the flames, and they were just spreading chaos to the rest of the land. Honestly, not only that, but what the hell was even the purpose of him setting them on fire in the first place? Why didn't security have better clearance? How did Laura turn and Samuel just sneak into the
Oh God, it was so. Also, it's
not even halfway through the year yet. It already feels like I gotta lower my score on this.
Yeah,
I mean, it's already a 3, but still.
Yeah, exactly. Also, this movie has barely anybody dies in the movie. I think this is the first Jurassic World film or Jurassic Park film with the least deaths. Nobody dies except for some random people at the end. There were some funny kills. I will.
The only main character who died was like the main villain. Honestly,
the main villain, yeah.
Again, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing in Fallen Kingdom.
That is true, yeah.
Jurassic World will be the exception because there really isn't a main villain, at least not from what I remember.
Oh wait, no, they did kill Ted Levine in the Fallen Kingdom too. The guy who was collecting dinosaur teeth.
Oh, oh,
The
oh,
guy who played
oh, that,
Buffalo. Yeah, Bill in Silence of the Lambs.
that random schmuck.
Yeah. I will say, me and my friends burst out laughing when they were in that underground dinosaur dealing black market area, and like those two big dinosaurs like break out, and then one guy trips and falls and catches on fire, and then this other guy tries to help him, and then that guy gets eaten. I burst out laughing then.
That guy also sort of got caught on fire.
Yeah, that too. And then also another scene was like when during the bike chase, the Owen Grady runs into those two big dinosaurs again, and then there's this one guy riding a scooter who has no idea of all these people running across him or the giant dinosaur behind him, and he just gets eaten, and we just straight up laughed at that. That was funny. But other than that, yeah, this movie just has moments, and for a movie to just have moments, I mean, even though I didn't hate the experience, I'm just thinking about it, I was like, this is a nothing movie. It had nothing new to offer. Nothing.
I mean, can you really say that if it did make you feel something at the end of the day?
That is true. Yeah.
It's not like, it's not like one of those Adam Sandler movies like Jack and Jill where when they tell a joke and it's bad, it's really bad to the point where it puts you in a bad mood. It's nothing really offensive unless you're actually a fan of a franchise. So I guess it kind of can be offensive in a way. It's just honestly, this movie, how this entire sequel trilogy is just sort of a franchise that goes in one year and just comes out the other.
Exactly. Perfect way of putting it. Yeah. I wouldn't. Okay. I'm just glad the series doesn't directly disrespect the original, like the Star Wars films sequels did, in my opinion. But
and this is coming from people who actually like The Last Jedi. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly. You like The Last Jedi, right?
Yes. Actually, I still do kind of like it. I can definitely understand people's complaints. I understand where they're coming from, and from the benefit of hindsight, a few scenes can get a little bit tainted because of that. But as far as from a storytelling perspective, and as far as how it sort of continued the story from The Force Awakens, or even the previous films, or even the prequel films, as far as I'm concerned, I thought it did a pretty solid job of what it was given, what it had to do, and but when Mark Hamill hates it, I guess I can sort of see that.
Yeah, exactly. But I think I'm done talking about this movie. This movie does not deserve this much of an attention that we've given it. It's just a nothing movie. I gave it a 5 when I saw it on and rated it on Letterboxd. I'm giving this a 4. This is a below average film. This is a bad movie. I don't want to ever see a Jurassic World movie again. I'm done. I swear to God, I'm done. This is a 4 out of 10.
You're speaking more negatively about it, and I gave it a 3.5.
Yeah, that's crazy that you gave it a 3.5 out of 10. That's insane. That's like entering really bad territory. Wait, I'm curious. What did you give Fallen Kingdom? A 2?
Believe it or not, when I first saw Fallen Kingdom back in 2018, I gave it like a 5.7 out of 10. Then again, this was like when I was still sort of experimenting with how I wanted to present myself in my reviews and what I was actually supposed to be talking about and all that stuff. I was like 2 years into doing this for like a thing. Looking back at it now, honestly, I guess like I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know if I honestly give it the same score as this, or if I even gave it like a 3 or a 2.5. I honestly don't know, but is it really about the same as Fallen Kingdom though? Because even though this one isn't, it's just more stupid.
I think the only thing that makes this movie better than Fallen Kingdom is there are more moments I liked in this film than there are moments in Fallen Kingdom.
And as a few scenes and a few themes, then the benefit of context actually makes sense as far as how a Jurassic Park or Jurassic World sequel could actually go as far as direction. But again, they don't really do anything with it or go anywhere with it. So it's like, what's really the point? What was the point of putting it in the movie if you weren't really gonna do anything with it? I keep saying this. It just it reminds me of that film We Summon the Darkness. It somehow crossed the fine line between actively surprising me and royally pissing me off. But it's just a real nothing movie, and it's just a real nothing movie. And yet I was expecting them to do more with the ideas they presented than what they actually did. It's the same thing with this movie, honestly. It just I mean, I ended up giving We Summon the Darkness a 5. So if you are curious, I would at least attempt to try and look at that one, because again something's there possible to use. Just they don't really. I'm just talking out of my ass at this point.
Yeah, man. So this is a 3.5 out of 10 for you. This is a 4 for me. Just I'm done.
Extinct. All of it.
Really don't know what else to say? Do you got anything else to add about this Jurassic World Dominion? This was Jurassic
World. I see what you did there.
Jurassic World. That's what it is.
Jurassic. It's drastic.
Yeah. Oh God.
Just no.
Just no. Any final thoughts for this film? Or are you done? I think you're extinct. The things you've wanting to say for this film has gone extinct for me.
I think we're good. I think we're good. I really think we're good. If you really love the Jurassic Park series, or even just think it's okay, just if you really want a good time, just check out the first Jurassic World movie and maybe stick around Fallen Kingdom for the fun parts, or just ignore it in general. Just ignore it in general. I mean, for Christ's sake, talk about finding more respect for the original. I mean, if I knew this is what we could have gotten in this place, I would have immediately called Jurassic Park. Well, the first one already is a masterpiece. But you get what I mean. I would have at least. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I understand, man. It's oh God. I'm done. I don't want to talk about this movie anymore. I'm done. Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching and sticking around. Do not watch this movie. I mean, if you want to see how this series ends, I guess. I mean, watch it for the old guys. But the thing is, just wait till VOD. It'll be out in VOD like in a month. Just wait till then. I'm serious. So yeah, I mean, yeah, there's nothing else to say. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, like. Thank you, Darius, for joining me on this. I hope to...
Thank you for having me on this.
Yeah, hope to do more collabs with him. I will leave Darius's link for his Instagram. He does a lot of reviews on his Instagram as well as his YouTube on the description below, so you guys can check him out. So yeah, thank you guys for watching.